All right, guys. I'm going to show you another assessment that we can do with our kids. These are the intervention assessments, and these are starting to pop up based on how the students scored on their maze and their oral reading fluency. So hang in there. We're still learning Amplify, but this is a way that Amplify can get more data to provide even more direct instruction for the students to address their direct needs. So once you've done the maze and the oral reading fluency assessment, you're going to sign into Amplify to come to this screen here. You're going to do the same process. You're going to click on the M-Class Assess. And once you get officially in and everything loads, you'll go to your group. And something that I want to touch on, I'm just going to pick one of these campuses, but something I want to touch on is make sure you are in the correct group. There's been a little bit of confusion on which group you're supposed to click on. You just want to make sure you're in the right one because you have all of your Skyward classes in there. There's a hit attendance one in there, but you need to be on the one that actually has your last name on it. Okay. My screen will look a little different than yours because I don't have those rostered classes like you do. But all your classes are going to be showing up like your school day classes. So you need to make sure you are on the account with your last name on it, and that will have all the students that are in your tutoring group showing up right here. And if they're not showing up, I need to know so I can add them to your group. Okay, so once you're in there, you'll click on one of your students, and you'll notice this particular student didn't have the best scores here. But when you go down to the bottom, there's this intervention tab. This intervention tab has a series of assessments to do with the kids. You will click on the assessment you need to do with them. It'll give you the instructions like it always does. The students will have materials. I'll send out the links to those materials. You'll print them off. It'll be very similar to the oral reading assessment, except for this time they're just reading one word, not an entire article. Once you're done with the assessment, you need to sync. I don't recommend doing all 4 of these assessments at a time. I would take one kid and do one assessment at a time. And then once everybody does this first assessment, then you can move on to the second one. So it may take a few days to get all these done. Okay, and something else I wanted to address while I had the time. Some of you who are 6th grade tutors, you're not able to, the kids aren't able to take their maze assessment. Some of that has to do with how they log in. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want the students to open up a new tab and go to my.amplify.com. And that should automatically sign them in because they've already signed into Amplify. And for whatever reason, it then allows them to take their maze assessment. Remember, that's when they click on the owl. Now, if it doesn't automatically sign them in when they go to my.amplify.com, you're going to have to give them their Amplify sign-in information. That's going to show up. You're going to get that information through this green tile. Okay, so you'll click right here. And once you select your group, whenever it loads, it'll pop up their username and their password. Okay. So for example, if I was in this course and I needed to see a login, it would appear on this right column. The first portion would be their username. The second portion would be their password. Y'all won't be able to see it. It'll be blurred out, but it'll be down here on their login. So again, this is only for 6th grade students who have not been able to take their maze assessment because when they click on the assessment, it says they're already done, even though they may not have taken it at all. So if that is happening for you, have the students open up a new tab, go to my.amplify.com, sign in with this login information, then they'll do the same process. They'll click on the owl and it should actually let them take their maze assessment. Just to wrap up what I talked about in this video, I talked about the different intervention assessments that you can take for the students under this intervention tab. Take one at a time. And then I gave instructions on how you can access the maze assessment for 6th graders if it has not let them take it so far.